When we say that abortion is anti-woman, we're not just spitting out pro-life talking points. We're being serious because the abortion narrative has infiltrated our culture so much to now we have so devalued motherhood that women feel guilty for caring about their children. I'm sure you know Elon Musk. You may not be as familiar with his ex-wife, Grimes. I think her real name is Claire, but she goes by Grimes, so that's what I'm going to call her. She did an interview recently talking about motherhood, how it has changed her, how it has made her a lighter, more creative human being. But she also talks about how greatly devalued motherhood is in our culture. And unfortunately, she is absolutely right. So here's the interview. And I want to talk about a few things that she brings up here because I think that it absolutely deserves our attention and a national conversation about how we are supporting women to be mothers instead of convincing them that motherhood is the end of their life.
How did being a mother, becoming a mother, change you as a human being, would you say?
Man, I think it kind of changed everything, and it's still changing me a lot. It's actually changing me more right now in this moment than it was before.
Like today? Like this?
Just like in the most recent months and stuff.
Can you elucidate that? How change? Like when you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself, it's again, who are you? How have you become different, would you say?
I think it's just really reorienting my priorities.
Okay, the first thing I want to say is how he asks, how has motherhood changed you? And she says, it has changed me in every single way. And later in this interview, she'll talk more specifically about how it has impacted her work, how it has made her an optimist, how she feels like a lighter and brighter human being. But here's the thing. Women are not allowed to apply their own experience of how motherhood has changed them, how it has made them a better person. I mean, we hear this constantly. Even celebrities like Cardi B has said that the best thing that's ever happened to me was being a mother, and it had changed me in more ways than I could ever imagined. That is never discussed in regards to abortion, right? Women who are facing unexpected pregnancies are not told, this is going to change your life. You are going to become a different person. You are going to feel a capacity of love and compassion that you have never experienced. It's going to change your life for the better. No, of course not. What they're told is that it's actually going to do the opposite, that it's going to make their lives miserable, that they are not going to be creative anymore because they're not going to have the capacity to work or create anything because this is going to take over their whole lives. And so I just find it so unbelievable that, if you talk to any mother, I've never met a mother who would look at their child and say, I regret having you. I wish you weren't here. I have only ever heard that children change us for the better. But that's never discussed in regards to abortion. And it is proof that the abortion industry is not informing women, that they are not being honest, that they are not showing them their options. They're not giving an accurate description of not only how their child would change their life, but what their child is. They're not even told that it's a baby. They're told that it is a clump of cells. It shows that Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry is more focused on coercing women into having abortions than having an honest conversation about the beauty of motherhood and children.
And at first I was really fighting against that because I somehow felt it was like a failure of feminism or something. Like I felt like it was like bad if like my kids started mattering more than my work.
This is what culture has done to mothers. That in the name of feminism, you have to care more about your job and your work than maybe your human nature to care about your own offspring and your children. There is nothing wrong with valuing your family. Actually, that should be your priority. Grimes says in the interview that the biggest thing that changed is that she refocused what her priorities are. Our culture is the ones who have got it wrong. We've convinced women that the only way to feel success, the only way to feel empowered, the only way to make it in life is by having a career, by making a lot of money. Because unfortunately, a lot of times the value of our work is determined by how much money you make. And the reality is that moms aren't making money for raising the next generation. And as a result, they're devalued. They're overlooked. And yet, clearly, it is our innate desire to care and love for our children. And abortion is a direct affront to that natural desire to care for our children.
And then like more recently, I started sort of analyzing that thought in myself and being like, that's also kind of a construct. It's like we've just devalued motherhood so much in our culture that like I feel guilty for caring about my kids more than I care about my work.
So
how can you claim to be pro-woman and yet make them feel guilty for what they really want to do, for what they really want to prioritize in life? That's what's so insane about all of this, is that the radical feminists, the radical pro-abortion advocates do it in the name of women. And yet we have women saying that they had to honestly sit down and analyze their thoughts and realize that it was a construct to believe that motherhood was not as important as the music that they're producing or the job that they are trying to work towards. The reality is that those priorities in our culture are absolutely skewed, and they are enabled by abortion. They are enabled by the people who make money from abortion. It is not pro-woman to say you are not going to be successful, you cannot accomplish your hopes and dreams, and you will never be happy unless you have access to abortion. The reality is that children are a gift. They are beautiful, they change us, they enrich our lives, and they are quite literally the next generation of people that will continue on. Motherhood is the most important job on this planet.
More than I care about my work.
So feminism includes breaking out of whatever the construct is. So
yeah,
just continually breaking. It's like freedom, empower you to be free, and that means.
But it also, but like being a mother, like I'm so much more creative. Like I cannot believe the massive amount of brain growth that I have.
Why do you think that is? Just because like the stakes are higher somehow?
I think it's like, it's just so trippy watching
Yeah.
consciousness emerge. It's just like, it's like going on a crazy journey or something. It's like the craziest science fiction novel you could ever read. It's just so crazy watching consciousness come into being. And then at the same time, like you're forced to value your time so much. Like when I have creative time now, it's so sacred. I need to like be really freaking on it.
I think what this shows is that women are stronger than how our culture paints us to be. That she was surprised that she's actually more creative, not less. That she's able to balance those things, that she's able to create time where she's able to do work, where she's able to create art, which is what she loves to do. And that didn't have to be sacrificed. It wasn't the life of her baby or her future career. She's actually astonished that she's able to do both because, spoiler alert, we've been saying this all along, women are stronger than abortion. Women are stronger than our culture paints us to be. And our life does not end when we decide to procreate, when we decide to create a human being and raise them. It only makes us stronger or more creative or more efficient or more compassionate, whatever that looks like. The reality is that abortion has infiltrated our culture so much that it has made us believe that women are weak, that women are incapable, and that women need abortion. And none of those things are true. However, sometimes in our culture, we think that that is true because we have, as a whole, devalued mothers and motherhood so much to where women are alone. Years and years ago, women had this little thing called a village. Aunts, uncles, mothers, sisters, cousins, community members, church members that actually came alongside families and supported them. And now women feel completely alone. Like if they can't do it on their own entirely, then they don't feel like they're able to take that on. The problem is that we live in an incredibly individualistic and selfish culture. We do. Everything is about me. Everything is self-focused. What serves me? Who pours into my life? What do other people do for me? What makes me happy? That we're not looking around to those who may need support and help. So what has this done to motherhood? It has removed her village. She doesn't have people. She has to do it on her own because everyone else is thinking about themselves. She has to as well. The reality is, as a culture, as a community, our focus should be on building each other up. And so if there are women in our communities, whether it is single moms, whether it is moms whose husbands work long, tiring shifts, and she is juggling the responsibilities of having multiple children all on her own. Maybe a young girl just found herself in an unexpected pregnancy and has no one around her. That is the most pro-life thing we can do, is to walk alongside these women, be there for them, think less about our lives and think more about those around us. It is time to go back to honoring, respecting, and supporting mothers, to make sure that they don't feel alone and make sure that they know that they do not have to choose between the life of their child and their hopes and dreams and their future. Women are strong enough to do both.